back, everybody. It's Thanks for Rolling podcast. We're here for another fun-filled episode. I'm Jeff. I am here with Pat. How's it going?
It's going great. Lots of things in the works.
Yeah. We last time we talked to you, well, I guess it wasn't last time. It was probably 2 episodes ago if you're listening in release order. We had hinted around or given some little bit of preview for some things we had cooking at the academy. We figured we'd come back and give a little more detail about what we have going on and get people excited, hopefully, about some fun stuff that's happening.
I was looking at my notepad here when I walked in, and it was kind of all the list of things that we talked about in that episode and ideas and thoughts for what was coming up, some goals for this year, and we've made quick work out of a few of them.
Yeah, really. So we'll cover like about 3 things for folks today. I guess we'll start with the Quintet version 2.
Quintet 2.0. We've talked about this on a few podcasts recently, I think, because we've had some guests in that were either involved or spectated or just knew about it, and everyone's always talking about how much fun it was, the best jiu-jitsu experience ever, the matches, all that stuff, and it's been on the back burner basically since we had the first one to do another one, but we were struck with COVID like 3 weeks after the initial, and it's just been a few years of getting back on track and just busy with other stuff. So here we are. So Quintet 2.0 is coming up on March 4th. So it's actually going to look very similar to the last one. We ended up with a lot of the same teams, which I think is great because that was kind of the initial plan. We wanted to do this every 6 months or so and have the winning team come back and defend their championship, which we don't have the winning team coming back this time, but we have a lot of the same players coming in. Of course, some of the teams are going to look quite a bit different, though, because it's purple belt and below, and it's been 3 years since the last one, so a lot of those guys that were purple belts last time around have moved on to brown belt.
Graduated up.
So in the mix this time, we have 10th Planet Springfield, 10th Planet Fairfield, Springfield Submission Society, Gracie Farmington Valley, Bushido, Manchester BJJ. So those 5 teams were all in the original Quintet. And this time we're adding in the Paradigm Academy. So we're running with a field of 6 this time. Mm-hmm. So we're going to take a slightly different format on the tournament. Instead of doing an 8-team bracket, we're going to start the first round with 2 groups of 3. And we're going to do a round robin. So each team will go against the other 2 teams in their group. And the top team of each group will meet for the final.
Pretty cool way to do it.
Yeah.
Shake it up.
I liked it as we were trying to fill the 7th and 8th slots. I kind of got this idea to do a round robin style with 6 teams. So it's cool because it's going to guarantee 2 matches for every team now instead of a potential one and done if you lose in the first round. So it's more opportunities for everyone to get matches, which is ultimately what everyone's coming out for.
Right.
So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, very cool. So just to set the context for everybody, if they don't know, like the place was packed last year, right? I think there's some videos up on the YouTube channel as well as on the 10th Planet Springfield Instagram where they can see the time lapse probably of the place filling up.
Yeah, the time lapse is the best. You see it all filling in from the far corner.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy to watch because it's like next thing you know, you're looking, the place is jammed with people.
I was completely caught off guard. I estimated at one time there's, I don't know, maybe like 300 people came through the door just based on the money that came in for spectators plus teams and coaches and, our people that came in. We were probably around 300 people, which is about 250 more than I was expecting. Got completely caught off guard by all of it. We didn't have enough of anything at all prepared. I just figured it was going to be the competitors, their coaches, couple of family members, some people from our academy.
Yeah. question will be, what are you going to do to prepare for this one?
I don't know that I'm going to do a lot different. It's one of those things I feel like if I go over the top and prepare too much, then I'm just going to be disappointed if it doesn't turn out a certain way. So, we'll be better prepared with the basics like toilet paper,
Yep.
Trash cans and trash bags, change, snacks, drinks, help, just all the basics. Just make sure, the customer service side of it is covered, because that's where I failed last time with being caught off guard. We ran out of toilet paper in like an hour.
It's kind of a big deal.
I mean, we don't go through a lot of toilet paper here, so
Right.
I just was not ready for it.
Right. I wouldn't have thought about that either. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully people are excited about coming back and seeing it, because I know, internally we were pumped, right? It was just so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
For those that aren't familiar with the Quintet format, it makes for a super exciting competitive experience, because it really pulls together the team aspect of competing. Anytime you watch your teammates compete, like, you get excited, you feel like you're part of it, but this is really a team challenge. So each team has 5 people. We're doing a max weight of 875 this time. And each team will pick their lineup in secret from each other. So you make your own lineups, you hand it to the table, and they call out the first 2 competitors. And it's basically king of the mat, last man standing. There's a time limit, but it's sub only. So if you submit, you stay in. If you lose, obviously you're out. Next person from your team comes in, and the person that keeps winning keeps staying on. If there's a draw, both guys out, next guys come in. And you just go down until there's no one left. And then if in the rare circumstance where the last 2 guys go to a draw, then we'll settle it with an EBI overtime.
Pretty awesome.
Yep.
So they just did this recently in the CJJ event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even those guys were talking about like how exciting of a format that is, like the team format. So
they did that one a little different because of the CJJ striking aspect. Everybody was the same weight, so there weren't big mismatches in size. But same exact idea though.
Yeah, very exciting, very cool. So what's the date again?
March 4th. Let me look at my notes here. We make sure I have the time right. We're going to try to kick off matches at 11 a.m. So if you plan on coming out to spectate, try to get here by 11. Spectators are $10 at the door, kids 12 and under free. Definitely come out and support the teams. We also have we're putting together a few women's showcase matches as well. So I don't have any announced yet, but we have one really good one set up already, and I have 2 others in the works.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Very cool.
Always doing whatever we can to get the spotlight on a lot of the local women.
Very cool. Yeah, that'll be exciting to see.
Yeah, and they'll be, I think the women's matches are going to be just straight up 10-minute sub-only EBI matches.
You're going to run them between the first and second rounds of the...
I think so.
The Quintet.
Yep. Yeah, because those guys are... The 2 teams that go on to the finals are going to need a break, because they're going to have 2 back-to-back matches with a pretty short turnaround. So we'll give them a break, give the ladies a chance to get out there in the spotlight and take center stage, and then we'll wrap up with the finals after that.
Very cool. Awesome.
I should have brought the trophy, and the trophy just came in the mail today. It's looking pretty sweet.
Yeah, I was shocked at how cool that looks.
Cup.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, we're excited about that.
There's some cash on the line.
That's right. And there's cash on the line.
So you get cash and the cup.
Yep.
And I'm telling our team, if we win, I'll drink a beer out of the cup.
Which isn't like you say that like it's a horrible thing to have happened to you, right?
Like, we didn't win last time.
That's true.
I think I threw out the same thing last time.
That's true. I asked him if he was going to drink it out of a shoe. He declined, though.
Yeah, I'll stick with the nice new plastic cup.
Yeah. All right. I was telling the guys here, like some of the new folks who weren't around, 3 years ago, like, this is exciting. And they're like, really? Like, yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah. It was a blast. We had so many people show up. The fire department showed up at one point just to check on things.
Yeah. Right.
Don't know if they were called or showed up on their own accord, but nonetheless, they showed up.
And if you've been to this building, the parking lot can be a circus, pun intended.
Yeah,
So
that's where I'm going to better prepare this time on spreading the word to the other tenants.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some flyers out and let people know we're having an event going on. If parking, traffic, people are being a problem, just come upstairs and I'll have someone delegated to handle the customer service and clear up any of that stuff and not have to, call the fire department or the police or anything.
Right. Maybe we can get some space cleared from a lack of parade vehicles.
Maybe.
In the parking lot, yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to hit on that?
No, I don't think so. Hope to see some people there and look forward to some action like last time. And we will not be streaming it live, but the plans are to put out a highlight after the fact again.
Yeah, we've got some, I shot some video last year, or last time I should say. So we'll do that again. We've got some other production tricks up our sleeve that we'll break out. So hopefully people can see some good highlights.
Yeah. I love the idea of keeping the competitive experience kind of underground. Mm-hmm. So if you want to see it, the only way to see it live is to come pay $10 and watch it in person.
Right. And that fits a theme that we're going to talk about in a little while with something else, right?
Yep.
So, Okay, cool. All right, so we have other big news, very exciting news that we broke in the last week. Or was it early this week? I'm like lost. I'm lost about what day it is.
Late last week.
Yeah, late last week. It's been one of those days for me. So we have a big seminar coming up. You want to announce?
Yeah. So things move fast on this one. So we've talked about on this podcast a few times that we're all fans of Ffion Davies around here, especially after watching her run at ADCC when we were out there, and even before that last year when she was living in New York and training with JT at Essential. I was like, it'd be a cool opportunity with her being so close to bring her up for a seminar, and it just, timing didn't work. It didn't happen. And then she goes on to win ADCC, and it's kind of been on my mind again since then. And I just last week decided to send the message out there and see what we could set up. So she has everyone's asking me like, oh my God, how'd you get Ffion for a seminar? I'm like, her Instagram has an email that says for seminar inquiries. So I clicked on it and I emailed and just said, we're interested in doing a no-gi seminar pretty much anytime this year. Just let me know. And her assistant got back to me immediately, and I could almost hear the laughing undertones from the email. And she's just like, she's basically booked this entire year where we don't have any dates available that we can give you.
Yep.
Which is understandable. I mean, she's riding high on winning everything this year and still competing like crazy and teaching and life and whatever.
Yeah, so I just got to be capitalizing on that IBJJF and ADCC world titles this year, right?
Yeah, so my reply was something like, completely understandable. We're only a couple hours away from where she'll be living in New York. So even if you have a last minute opening, just let me know. We'll try to work something out. And a day or two later, she emailed me back again and says, hey, I talked to Ffion. She has these 2 dates available. Just let me know which one you want. So I picked a date and here we are.
Yeah, very exciting. When we did our wrap up, I don't forget if we did it as part of our wrap up for ADCC event or we did our end of year wrap up. I think we talked about, like, for me personally, she was like the person that I was most excited about watching and seeing like what happened after all these big events. So super excited. I know we both went back and watched her ADCC performances over the weekend. And when you're there, obviously I saw what she was doing when we were there, but like to watch it up close and to hear the commentary, I'm like, man, Ffion is like relentless in I just loved watching her style of attack, right?
Relentless pressure, and you can just see the amount of emotion that she puts into it. Like this is her life. Like training and competing and winning is her life.
Yeah, she was overwhelmed.
It's contagious watching it.
Yeah, really, very, very cool. I'm very excited. So, give us the details.
Yeah, let me pull up I got notes.
On your new laptop, your fancy new
Yeah.
clean laptop, I can see.
So we're hosting Ffion here for a no-gi seminar, 10th Planet Springfield, on Saturday, April 15th. The unfortunate thing for everyone listening to this is most likely by the time you're hearing this, it's going to be sold out. We've had registration open for 5 days, I think, at the time of recording this, and currently have 5 spaces open.
Yeah.
So it's
Crazy.
It's sold fast. I had it in my head if hopefully maybe within a month, if I have my minimum cost covered, I'd be happy. And it's happened in less than a week. So you can tell the jiu-jitsu community in this region is really excited for this seminar too. So we'll be posting if any spots do happen to open up. We'll put a link out there and a notice for people to jump on it quickly. But odds are by the time this podcast drops, it's going to be sold out, which is pretty awesome because she's been on the front lines of fighting for women to get better pay in the sport of jiu-jitsu. So it's fun that we're able to help contribute to that and that the community has jumped on the opportunity to pitch in their share of it.
Yeah. I'm psyched. Like, I don't even have anything to say about it. I'm just like, I can't wait. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Right after I booked this last week, I was like, this will be a fun experiment to see how many guys are willing to pay $100 to come learn from a woman. Like, obviously it's a no-brainer for us. And it's been cool. Looking down the list, it's probably 50-50 men and women right now. So that's really awesome. I love the fact that everyone's willing to put forth the money and come learn from someone who rightfully deserves it.
Yep. It's funny because maybe they're not out there or haven't done a good enough job looking, but I don't see like tutorials by her or like I'm hawking my, my DVD and stuff like that. So I'm very curious to like hear about her or to like witness her teaching style, right? Or what she's going to present to us. Very interesting. I'm going to kind of try to keep it under wraps, right? Even if there is something out there, like I don't want to see it. I kind of just want to be surprised and like just kind of enjoy.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I had another point, now I completely forgot what it was, but yeah.
This has been the easiest seminar to sell. The accolades speak for themselves. There's really no selling that needs to be done.
Yeah, that's actually, you just reminded me. That's exactly what I was going to say. How often? Never, right? Like, it's one thing to say, like, I trained with a world champion. We both know people who have won world championships in various places, IBJJF, different age brackets, belts, etc. But not too often that you can say, like, the reigning ADCC champion, the reigning IBJJF world champion. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she won IBJJF, GI, Worlds, and ADCC in the same, essentially, season, which almost nobody at that level even attempts to do because they look at their training as almost different sports. Right. Like, training to win IBJJF in the GI is a very different skill set than winning ADCC.
Yep.
I think Kynan did it this year, or 2022 he was the only other person to win both.
Yeah. I saw an interview, actually Fion's interview with Kendall on Kendall's podcast. They were talking about that, and even Kendall was like, I knew I wanted to do ADCC. I wasn't even going to bother trying to do IBJJF for that same reason.
You get your opportunity to go to ADCC and put forth a good chunk of training to training a completely different thing in the GI. Yeah. And most people aren't going to take that risk. They get that invite to ADCC. They're all in for a year getting ready for it.
That's crazy. Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, looking down the list of accolades, she's won basically everything there is. So I'm interested to hear from her what competitive goals still exist. Like what's continuing that drive. Obviously, the drive is there. She's coming back to New York to train with JT full time. So still a lot to do, I guess.
Yeah, I'm always curious, like, when that becomes the thing, right? I was thinking about this recently. when you have someone at such a high level, when does it become like, this is what I do, I go and compete, and all of a sudden it becomes like, oh, now I'm actually competing to be the best in the world. Mm-hmm. That's the difference, right? It's like, you can compete, and then all of a sudden does someone say to you, hey, you're really good, you should go to, compete at these super big tournaments? Like, or do you just say, I'm going to go out there and hit these big tournaments and see what happens? Next thing you know, you're winning. Like, I don't know how that happens, right? I mean, that's so far out of my realm of experience or knowledge, I wouldn't even venture a guess, but I'd be very curious to know, like, how you keep that level going, right? At that,
Yeah. Yeah, especially after you've won she's won the top 3 championships. She's won IBJJF, gi and no gi at black belt, and won ADCC. Yeah. Not to mention everything else.
Right.
Pans, Europeans.
Yep.
Just at black belt.
Just at black belt. Yeah. If you go back,
won almost all of them at the colored belts too.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think she started training jiu-jitsu in like 2013.
Yeah, she said she was late, right? In one of the interviews, like she started late after a judo background. So, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I'm pumped. This is a big one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good I like to see that the local community, or maybe not local, I don't know where people are coming from, right? But
yeah, I mean, it's cool. I just see all the registrations hit my email when they come in, and a good chunk of them are people I don't know at all and don't have any direct connection to. So they're either just seeing our advertising or, friends of friends.
Word of mouth.
Yeah. So it'll be awesome. We'll have a really good mix of people here. Meet some new people too.
Yep. Very cool. Any other details we want to throw out for people?
No. Just a reminder again, if there does happen to be any space open, it's Saturday, April 15th. Just keep your eyes posted on our gym's Instagram at 10P Springfield MA. That's where we'll be posting when space does open up.
Great. You nailed that Instagram.
Was it correct?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. When you said it, I was like, oh, I guess that's right.
It felt right.
But I know we can't nail the one for this place.
We usually fail, so.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And that's not the last of what we have coming up.
Yes, we've got one more thing in our bag for the first half of the year.
Yeah, so here's how this one went down. Pretty much since I opened the gym, I had this idea of Friday night fights where it's just local competitors from other academies just congregate somewhere on a Friday evening, and it's like Fight Club. You just set up some matches, low key, no cost or very little cost, and just give people competitive experience versus, you're reducing the stress and the buildup and the cost and, all those hurdles that people deal with, and it might steer them away from competition. And then, obviously with just the time commitment of everything else that's going on, it's just never happened. So like many other things, this podcast included, I'd sprinkle it out there in the universe to Jeff, and he takes it and runs.
I was thinking about that on the way over. I was like, that's exactly how I'm going to say this. Like literally one of those things where Pat says, hey, what about this? Or I have this idea. And I may not say anything right away. And then a little while later, I'm like, that son of a bitch. Like now it's in my head.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just like the podcast or the studio. I forget when when this originally came up, for the first time you ever said anything to me about it was when we were working with the guys from RCS. And we might have said this in the previous podcast, I don't remember. And you were like, oh, well, you should do Pallone Promotions. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that, dude. I don't want any part of that. And you've said it like 3 or 4 times, and I forget how it came up more recently, but you said the same thing. Then I started thinking about it because we did the in-house tournament, and you really wanted that to be, again, kind of like just low-key, give the guys experience, Fight Club. We had like beats music playing and, just kind of low-key, lo-fi beats playing. And then I think we just started batting ideas around and landed on, we were calling it Friday Night Fights for a while. I changed the name to the Friday Night Grappling League, which hopefully folks have now started to see across the socials. Let me pull out my details here. Yep, Friday Night Grappling League. So I guess I'll give the rundown, right? So we figured, again, fairly low-key, and, I was like, well, let's do a season-based event. And, for the first season, it makes it easy. If it sucks, we don't have to do it again, right? Or if we don't feel like we can improve upon it, or if there's other holes, it gives us opportunities to kind of build it up versus trying to do something big right off the bat. So the idea here is we get 8 grapplers from local schools or whoever wants to come, and they compete across a 7-week regular season. So each week, somebody gets a match against somebody else in the league. And then in the 8th week, the top 4 point earners across those previous 7 weeks square off in a 4-man bracket to determine the winner. It's a $100 buy-in. The guy at the end takes all the money and the accolades and a big trophy.
So it'll ultimately end up being like a long-term round robin. Everyone's going to face everybody.
Yep. So across 8 weeks, we will crown a champion. And sub only. And if you, actually I can give people the scoring right here as we talk about it. But so a win in submission in regulation is worth 4 points. A win via sub in OT is worth 2 points. And then a win versus rider escape time in OT is worth 1 point. So we want to put the emphasis on getting the finish in regulation time. So we've got 6 guys, maybe 7. Potentially, I think we got a new applicant today lined up. So we're looking for 1 or 2 more guys. And I'll probably get some backups. Again, it's an 8-week commitment from everybody. So, things come up in life or, people maybe not be able to make that 8-week commitment. If they don't, I've got some contingencies in place to fill out the rest of the season. So pretty excited about that. Kind of a cool thing. We've got the little mechanics we've got to work out, like got to make sure we get a ref and all that kind of stuff squared away. But it'll be fairly low key. We'll host it here at the academy for the first season and go around. I'll make a little bit of a show of like the schedule and getting the scoring out and the leaders and all that stuff, so people can follow along on Instagram. And hopefully it's fun, right?
I think the concept and the format are solid. So it's just the most important thing is getting the commitments out of the competitors to show up for 8 weeks.
Right.
And then, pretty much if they show up, it can't go bad.
Right.
It's just,
right.
There's going to be matches.
Right.
And it goes down how it goes down.
Right. And hopefully it's pretty easy, right? We're not looking for people to be sitting around on a Friday night for 3 hours, right? It's one match.
We should be in and out in an hour max every night.
It should be very easy. And then the end, like wrapping it up in an actual head-to-head tournament should be pretty cool for people, those top 4 guys.
Yep. So it's the top 4 points earners
across the
will
season.
Go into the bracket.
Yep.
And then are you going to seed them based on
the points?
Yep.
So your top point earner will be number 1 versus your lowest of the top 4, and then so on from there.
Yes.
So, yeah, it should be pretty cool. I'm hoping that people have some fun. I know we did a little bit of investigation. I talked to some local folks who have done events or just some guys who compete a lot just to kind of see what they thought about, if you put a little money in and you're going to get 8 matches out of it, how does that sound? And the reaction was like, yeah, that sounds cool.
Right. For me personally, it's not about the money, but you have to put a little something on the line to get people to make the commitment and show up every week.
Yes.
Or else they show up week 1.
Right.
They lose. It doesn't go how they liked. Something pops up week 2 and they're just gone.
Right.
And it kind of ruins the whole thing.
Right.
So any outreach I've helped you with, that's the point I keep stressing is the commitment is the most important thing.
Right.
I don't care about the rank or the accolades. Like we need fairly local people so that it's reasonable that they can make the 8-week commitment.
Yep. And if we've had people reach out or, apply who have been a little further away, I've asked them, I said, look, straight up, I need to make sure that you're going to be able to be here.
Yeah.
Should you make it all the way through to the finals, that you'd be here for 8 weeks. Not be here, but, be able to show up in 8 weeks. And they're like, yep, I understand, know where it is, know how far away it is or whatever. So that's reassuring to me. And we've got a mix of people, right? I'm not going to give names out at this point, but we've got a mix of people. We did cap it at a 175-pound weight limit so that, we're not, got a 300-pounder against a 150 out there. I've got a couple other names I need to nail down, and then I'll, start releasing things.
Yeah, just seeing the names myself, I think we're in for a good mix of exciting matches.
Yeah.
We got guys from various backgrounds, various ranks, body type, styles, everything.
Right.
So it'll be cool.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun. So the first week is tentatively scheduled right now for Friday, April 14th, which would put the final bracket June 2nd. We'll work out the times and all that stuff once we get everybody finalized there. But those are like the two most important dates. I'm trying to think if there's any other. So, yeah, 175-pound weight limit, we said. The regular season matches will be 7 minutes, sub only, with a single EBIOT as needed. And then 10 minutes in the bracket. All subs legal. No slams, right? Let's try
the normal stuff.
Keep it relatively safe.
What about fish hooks?
No fish hooks, no eye gouges, right? No biting, that kind of stuff. Yeah, if you want to whisper in each other's ear, that's perfectly fine, though.
Taking away my best move.
Yeah. That's big on the fish hook and the eye gouge. One of these things, right? I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say about it. I mean, I just think, hopefully it's something cool. I mean, I feel like people pay to go to a tournament anywhere, right, and pay $100 and get one match. Like here, we're gonna ask you to put a little money forth to commit to it, but you're gonna get 8 matches, right?
You get a guaranteed 7,
right,
and possibly 9,
right. And if we can, ideally, we have multiple seasons of this, right? This is season 1, season run. 2. Yeah, I mean, like if it keeps going, great. Like we could run this for however long we want to run it for. And just, make improvements or make adjustments as we need to. So that would be pretty cool to see. Depending on how much attention it gets from a competitor perspective, you could run a couple of these a year.
Yeah. Again, it
Pretty
really
simple.
just comes down to the desire and commitments from the competitors, because from a logistics standpoint, it's pretty easy on our end. We're putting forth some time and some effort, so we need to have it reciprocated from the competitors. But really, if people are going to commit and show up, these things are pretty easy to keep running.
Right.
We could do a women's season.
Yeah, I'd love to do a women's season. I've had a couple women reach out, and some of them aren't necessarily local, but like I've said, like, if this was local, it'd be something I would love to do. Mm-hmm. So like that'd be awesome to do.
Yeah, and then at the same time, it's just some good local community building too with the other academies.
Right. I don't think I shared this with you, but somebody reached out to me. I'll name names after when we're off the air, but was just saying like, I really appreciate what you guys are doing for like the local jiu-jitsu community, and like I was like, I'm not doing anything. I was like, that's all bad. No. So that's cool. It's just good to see like people are kind of embracing that part of it. And I know when you and I have done other work together, that's been something we've liked, right? It's like make it about the competitors and
I mean, community. they're gonna go out and compete. Everyone's gonna try to win, but at the end of the day, we're all part of the same community.
Right. So I'll do some more announcements. I guess I should tell people where they can find the information.
What you're at.
Yeah, the at, exactly. Like most things, it was complicated to actually get the right name here. So if you look up on Instagram, Friday Night Grappling League, one word, you will find it. And all the information about how to apply, all the details about the league itself, how to apply, is all in the profile link that's there. So you can take you right to the information.
Nice.
So,
and I always try to share everything from the 10th Planet Springfield gym page too, to make sure everyone's seeing it. But yeah, ultimately make sure you follow the Friday Night Grappling League page to get everything as soon as it comes out.
Yeah. Yep. So when we get the competitors nailed down, I'll put the schedule. We'll start putting some more social media stuff out there. Right now, there's just like a lot of information, but we'll get the schedule out there and do that kind of stuff. So
yeah, get those guys nailed down and off to the races.
Yep. So coming in April will be busy.
Busy April.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Is that the first week? The first week may be the night before Ffion.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Didn't think of that beforehand, but so anyway, we'll worry about that later. Yeah.
Actually works better sometimes to cram everything into a condensed time period and just take the time out of life to knock it all out.
Yep. Good point. All right. So that's that. So yeah, 3 big things we have cooking in the first half of the year. It's pretty good. We got it packed in before April.
Yeah. We're going to do nothing the rest of the year. But
don't expect much else.
Q1's going to be busy.
That's right. Anything else we should hit on?
No.
All right.
I think that's enough stuff.
We're going to go train, I guess.
We will go train.
All right, guys. Thanks for rolling.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya. Bye.